Good afternoon. Am I audible to all of you? Yes. Okay. So I have uploaded an exercise, and all the questions in this exercise are from past XAT papers. Okay. So there are 15 questions that we will solve today. First, take a look at question number 1 to question number 5. Question number 1 to question number 5, you have 10 to 15 minutes. Please start. At 3:45, I will start the discussion. 1 to 5. Okay. Time is up for question number 1 to question number 5. So let's check. Question number 1. Number 1, he starts by telling you that in supermarkets, items are grouped in bulk packages. Whereas in retail outlets, what you can do, you can purchase items in any number of units that you want. But this does not happen in supermarkets because in supermarkets, items are grouped in bulk packages. Now, because of this bulk buying, there are lots of savings to the customer. And that is why he tells you that when you buy for budget conscious customers, the option of buying at wholesale prices by buying in bulk makes supermarkets a practical choice. So he's making the conclusion that those consumers who are budget conscious, they should buy from supermarkets because supermarkets offer wholesale prices and they will save a lot of money. This is what he is trying to say. Now, question is, what is the assumption necessary to the author's argument? What is he assuming? If he's telling you that if you are budget conscious, then buy from the supermarket because in supermarket you will get bulk packages. So what is he assuming? Yes, absolutely. Number 5 is right. He is assuming that the financial savings that you will get from purchasing bulk packages, that is going to be more than the inconvenience of being unable to purchase any number of units that suits the customer's needs. Absolutely, it has to be number 5. It has to be number 5. There is another way to check this. If you are not certain whether your answer is correct or not correct, then remember I've told you many times that assumption is nothing but another, it is a reason. Assumption is a reason, and reason will always support the author's conclusion. It will always support the author's conclusion. The only difference is that assumptions are those reasons that are not mentioned. So check, is number 5 supporting the argument or supporting the conclusion that when you buy at wholesale prices from the supermarkets, it is a good choice if you are a budget conscious consumer. Number 5 proves this right. It says yes. Yes, because you will save more. Yes, there will be some inconvenience because you will not be able to purchase in any number of units that suits your requirements. But if you look at the whole picture, on the whole, the financial savings are going to be more than the inconvenience that you are going to face. So number 5 supports the author's conclusion that it is a practical choice. Buying from supermarkets is a practical choice. Okay, because many people they have a problem with assumption questions. So I'm telling you, assumption is just a reason. It is the reason that is used to support the conclusion. However, it is a reason that is not stated. So if you do not know what is the answer, then check which option is supporting the conclusion. That will bring you to the answer. Anybody has any doubt in this question? If you need to check any of the other options, because this was pretty simple. Okay, good. Question number 2. Let's move to question number 2. Question number 2, he's telling you you have indigestion, you have acidity, are you unable to sleep? Okay, so if you are facing these 3 problems, then don't spend time tossing and turning. In fact, the cure is magic. Take magic. When you take magic, you will get a sound, restful sleep. You will soon fall asleep, and when you wake up, you'll be refreshed and you will be energized. So you should remember magic when you are suffering from acidity and when you need that sleep. So this is the advertisement. Based on this, he is telling you all of the following are claims of magic, except. So what is it that magic does not claim? Okay. Number two is claimed, Mayank and Nikita, when he says that when you wake up, you will be refreshed and energized. You will be refreshed. Added with a refresh हो जाओगे ना re again. Okay. So you will be again fresh and energized. So number two is there. Number two is a claim made by Magic. Mayank, he is using the word refreshed and energized. You will be refreshed and energized. So how added? Because he's using the word re. You are not going to be fresh, you are going to be refreshed. So there's a difference between fresh and refresh. Okay. So number two is a claim. Number two is a claim made by Magic. But he never claims to cure indigestion. In fact, he tells you that if you are suffering from acidity and you need that sleep, there were three problems mentioned: indigestion, acidity, and you are unable to sleep. You have insomnia. So if you have three problems, indigestion, acidity, and insomnia, then you should take magic. Now, magic will cure two of them, that is acidity and insomnia, but it does not claim to cure indigestion. So number three is going to be the answer. Nikita, why did he mention indigestion in the first place in the ad? Because see, why he did that we don't know, but in advertisements they say they claim a lot of things, but the reality works out to be very different. Question is why do you need to believe his claims? Just like you are saying, why did he mention indigestion? Similarly, I'm asking, it is an advertisement. How can you believe everything that he's saying? Probably you will not be refreshed and energized. Probably you will not get a sound restful sleep. Magic is never claiming to cure indigestion. In fact, the last line gives you the clue. When you suffer from acidity and when you need that sleep. What about indigestion? He does not talk about it at all. So that is why there is no cure to indigestion. Mohit, you mark number four. You will quickly fall asleep. वो तो सामने है. It is you will soon fall asleep. It's written right there. It's written you will soon fall asleep. यहीं पर है. You will get a sound, restful sleep. You will soon fall asleep. Also, maybe if indigestion is happening because of some other reason, magic can't help. Yes, that may be a possibility, but we don't need to extend it. इतना extend करने की जरूरत नहीं है. Okay. Varsha, you will get a restful slumber. Slumber is sleep. ये सामने है. Restful sleep is here mentioned right here. Okay. Slumber is light sleep. No, slumber is sleep. Slumber is sleep. In fact, slumber is kind of heavy sleep, not light sleep. Light sleep is nap, siesta. Light sleep is siesta, nap, um, and such other words. So answer, Nikita, you still didn't get option three. Option three, he never says that indigestion is going to be cured. He first he starts by telling you if you have indigestion, if you have acidity, and if you are unable to sleep, then don't worry. We have magics for you. Magics will make you sleep. Magics will give you energy and it will refresh you. Okay. So whenever you are suffering from acidity and when you want to sleep, then take magic. even though initially he talked about indigestion, but he did not tell you that magic is going to create or magic is going to help you with your indigestion. That is why it should be three. Okay. Well, in Webster, it is light sleep. I can show you thousands of other um, uh, dictionaries where it will say sound sleep, heavy sleep. Okay. So that depends. That depends on what dictionary you follow. But for example, Pallavi, you must have heard if there is a very lazy person, very lazy, very obese person, and you tell that person walk fast, don't slumber. Okay, when you say don't slumber, then what are you trying to say? You're trying to say that you are walking, you have heavy steps. You have heavy steps, just like a pregnant lady. She has heavy steps. So you have heavy steps. You are not able to walk very quickly. In fact, elephants also slumber. So that is why it is more often used for heavy sleep and not light. Okay. Now, Mayank, your question is, which is the standard dictionary to follow? I mean, no dictionary is standard. You can follow anything, but please understand that when you come across the word many times, then you will see that different people use it in different senses. The more you read, the more you are in touch with English, you will see that different people use it in different ways. So you will understand that okay, this word can be used like this also, this word can be used like this also, this word can be used like this also. For example, when you read Salman Rushdie, you will be surprised that he can use common words in ways that you cannot even think. You cannot even think that you can use words like that. So different people use it in a different way. So we cannot say that there is a standard dictionary. For example, if you are American, you will say Merriam-Webster, isn't it? But if you are not American, you will say definitely not Merriam-Webster, right? So the, I mean, it cannot be 100%. English cannot be 100% objective. Okay. So question number two, answer will remain. Answer is going to remain three. Should we move to the next question now? Yes. Question number three. Number three. This one is very easy, and I'm surprised that this is a that question. Filmmakers, what do they do? Filmmakers highlight emotional points with visuals. They don't use dialogue. They highlight it with visuals. Whereas when you look at playwrights use words. Okay, so filmmakers use visuals to highlight emotions. Playwrights they will use words as tools. But when you look at movies, it is images that are the stuff that films are made of. Films are made of images. Nevertheless, there have been many successful films that have been made from stage plays, and they contain little else than one location or one stage set. So he's concluding that even though films are made of images, there have been many successful films where words are more important than the images, because when you look at the image, there is nothing else than one location or just one stage set. You don't have many visuals. You have just a fixed visual or one or two visuals. So this is what he's trying to say. Even though films are made of images, there have been successful films that have been successful because of words and not images. Now he's asking you the question. The option most opposite to the idea in the paragraph is what? Opposite to the idea means you have to prove. You have to prove that no, a film film cannot use words. A film will not become successful if it uses words. It will have to use images. So it should be three. No, it cannot be one and two. It should be number three. Films are solely built upon visual and eye-catching scenes. Only then you will negate him. He's saying that there have been many successful films that do not use much visuals. They have come from stage plays. Stage plays का मतलब है words. There, uh, uh, there is more importance given to words. Images are not there. So if you want to select an idea that is opposite, then you will have to mention that films uh, will need only and only visuals and eye-catching scenes. Words are not important. It has to be three. It has to be three. One and two will not work. How are number one and two opposites? Films are not necessarily a filmmaker's medium. Is he saying something opposite in the passage? Is he saying something opposite? No. So how is number one opposite? Films are not limited to any one particular style. So this is what he's saying. Number two, he has already mentioned that there are many films that are made from stage plays. So that means that films are not limited to any one particular style. How is number two opposite? Dipali. But filmmakers highlight the emotions in films. How? Through visuals. Through visuals, Dipali. Yes, they highlight the emotions. But what is the medium? Medium is visuals. What you're trying to say that number one is opposite because in the paragraph it is written that filmmakers they use they use films as a medium. Okay, and that is why number one is opposite. When you say films are not necessarily a film medium, is that what you're trying to say? That is why number one is opposite. I got your point. I got your point. But he never says in the paragraph that filmmakers they highlight the emotions only and only through films. He never uses the word only or solely. Yes, filmmakers use filmmakers. Let us say these are filmmakers. Filmmakers they use A, but he never says that they use only A. So when you say films are not necessarily a filmmaker's medium, how is it opposite? He never said that filmmakers only use A. Dipali, but I have used the word solely in number three. The moment I use the word solely, I am negating him. I am negating the conclusion that successful films can be made with words. He is saying that there have been many films that are made from stage plays. Stage plays का मतलब है their focus is on words. Okay, so how will I negate it by saying that no, films can only and only be built upon visuals and not words. That is why number three is the opposite. Okay, is this clear for all of you? Anybody has any doubt? It contains little else than that means it does not have anything else. There is just one location. सिर्फ एक ही location है Ananya. There's only one location. That means that there are not much visuals. There are not much visuals. That is what he's trying to say. Okay, number four. Let's come to question number four. Question number four, in the increase in number of reality shows. Okay, number of reality shows have increased on television channels. This supports the contention that channel owners are more interested in boosting their revenues by pandering to the voyeuristic tendencies of viewers. Okay, what is the meaning of this? The meaning is that there are so many reality shows on television. This shows to you that channel owners, they only want to boost the revenues. How? How do they want to boost the revenues? They want to boost the revenues by pandering. Pandering means catering, supplying, purveying. There are so many words. What is pandering? Pander means to cater. CATER. To cater, to supply, to purvey. Okay. So he's saying that television or channel owners, they they are showing more reality shows because they are interested in boosting the revenues. How they want to boost the revenues? They want to cater to the voyeuristic tendencies of viewers. What is voyeuristic? Voyeuristic. You know who's a wire? Who is a wire? Your relatives. हाँ सभी के. Yes, सभी के relatives हैं. So wire is a person. Okay, wire is a person who wants to look into the personal lives of others. Okay, who is a wire? Wire is a person who wants to pry into the private lives of others. दूसरों के निजी जिंदगी में ताक झांक करना. Okay, that person. Wire is a person who likes to pry into the private lives of others. So when you have voyeuristic tendencies, he's saying that viewers have voyeuristic tendencies. Viewers want to look into the private lives of the people who participate in the reality shows. Okay, so if you are a wire, that means you are interested in looking into the private lives of others. So he's saying that these channel owners, they boost the revenue by pandering to the voyeuristic tendencies of viewers. This is what he's trying to say. In fact, whenever there's a sting operation, generally whenever there's a sting operation, then all the TV channels, they will say that this is nothing but voyeurism. Okay, right? Now the question is, the premise behind the above argument is what? What is the premise behind the above argument? The premise behind the above argument means he is making this argument based on what reason? What is the reason that he's saying that channel owners boost the revenues by pandering to voyeuristic tendencies? It is but obvious that the reason is he believes that reality shows. Okay, he believes that reality shows. What do they do? Reality shows, they are catering to the voyeuristic tendency of viewers. So yes, answer should be number three. Answer should be number three. So the premise behind the argument is that reality shows on television appeal to the basic instinct of viewers. Yes, Arpita. What is your question? How can that be basic instinct? What? Your voyeuristic tendencies are basic instinct, Arpita. How can it be concluded? How can it be concluded that voyeuristic tendencies are basic instinct? That is what you're trying to say. Well, for your information, when you have your sexual urges, voyeuristic tendencies किसको होता है? What kind of person has voyeuristic tendencies? A person a person who has sexual urges. Who, when I'm saying that you want to look into the private lives of others, that does not mean that you want to see what they're eating. Obviously, okay. Yes, basic instincts of viewers. There are many basic instincts. Sexual urges. Sexual urge is one of them. Arpita, yes or no? Mayank, your question is main aim is to boost revenue. Main aim is to boost revenue. Yeah. So So how are they boosting revenues? No, uh, no. Number four is not right. Reality shows make more money than other types of programs. This is something which I will not agree. No, they want to boost the revenues. Okay, probably, probably there is some other kind of show that provides more revenues than reality shows. So let us say there are two kinds. There are two kinds of shows, A and B. A is a reality show. B is not a reality show. Mythology. Let us say B are those shows that are based on mythology. It's possible. It's possible that 50% of the revenue comes from shows that are mythological in nature, and he now wants to get 50% more revenue from those shows that pander to voyeuristic tendencies. Okay, uh, what do you think? They want to boost revenues, so they air reality shows. Yes, so so what? Why not focus on mythology? Because mythology, let us say, it is already at the saturation point. When see, you cannot say that reality shows make more money than other types of programs. That is actually not valid, because there may be other types of programs that make very very good money, but a huge addition is made by reality shows. So he wants to boost his revenue. That does not mean that uh, his entire revenue is going to be monopolized by reality show. He wants to boost his revenue, means he wants to increase his revenue. That's it. He never says that reality show. He never says that reality shows are the only thing that will help in boosting the revenues. Yes, nothing is mentioned about other programs. He bolsters his conclusion. No, it supports the belief, because the reality shows have increased. This supports the belief that channel owners are more interested in boosting the revenues. Okay, for example, Mayank, let's say last time your revenue increased 50%. Okay, now you believe that if I add other programs, if I add other programs, then other programs will lead to just a 10% increase, just 10% increase. But if I add, let's say, um, um, a reality show, it will lead to 15% increase in revenue. What will I do? I will increase reality shows, isn't it? So I have boosted my revenue. I have boosted my revenue, but that does not mean that a reality show is the only show that is going to make the most money, or reality shows will make the most money. No, did you understand, Mayank and Arpita also? Okay, so you can't say that other shows do not make as much money. You can't say. Probably, I told you, probably there are other shows that are, leading to that that bring in 50% revenue, and now you want to increase it. So it should be three. Answer should be three. Mohit, you want to improve vocab? So out of the blue, ये question कहाँ से आ गया? You want to improve vocab? You want to improve vocab? Then talk in English, write in English, listen to English programs. I mean, watch English programs without the subtitles. Read English. Okay. Can we check option five? Yes. The channel owners can influence what is watched by the viewers. So, is this the reason behind the argument? Is this the reason why he's saying that channel owners are boosting the revenues by pandering to voyeuristic tendencies? Of course, channel owners can influence what is watched by the viewers, Priyanka. They can, right? But is this the reason why he's saying that they want to boost the revenues? No, this is not the reason. So even though number five is a reality, number five is a possibility that yes, channel owners can influence what is watched by viewers, but that does not mean that that is why he's saying that these owners want to boost the revenue. Okay. Now your question is, Mayank, your question is number three is how can we say that other programs do not appeal to basic instincts? Where is he saying? Where is he saying that it is only and only reality show that appeals to the basic instincts of viewers? Again, recommend. He's not making it extreme. Yes, reality shows appeal to the basic instinct of viewers. Where is he saying that there is no other kind of show that can appeal to the basic instinct of viewers? Okay, should I move to the next question? Okay, I thought these questions will not require much discussion. Okay, let's see. Number five, perhaps this war will pass, like the others which divided us, leaving us dead, killing us along with the killers. But the shame of this time puts its burning fingers to our faces. Who will erase the ruthlessness hidden in innocent blood? Which of the following is certainly not implied in the above verse? What is certainly not implied? Yes, number two. Thank God. इसमें कोई discussion नहीं चाहिए, I believe. Yes, it is number two. Humanity gets divided by war and reunites. Now, this portion is not implied at all. If you want to check others, if you want to check others whether they are implied or not implied, if you have any doubts, then we can discuss it. What is the hidden meaning of last line? The hidden meaning of last line is nothing, it's a rhetorical question. Nikita, it is a rhetorical question. You know what's a rhetorical question? Yes? A rhetorical question is a question that does not require an answer. Okay, a rhetorical question is the question that has been asked just for impact. Just for impact, the answer is obvious. So when you say, who will erase the ruthlessness hidden in innocent blood? So when you kill innocent people, when you kill innocent people, you are ruthless. How will you erase the blood? So basically, he wants to say that you will not be able to, wipe away or wash away that innocent blood. That is what he wants to say. There is no one. There is no one who can wash away the innocent blood from your fingers, from your hand. Yes, from your hand. When you kill people, then obviously you will have a bloodied hand. Okay. So yes, number two is the answer. Anybody has any doubt? Okay, Mohit, your answer to question four was correct only after learning about the meaning of the words. Okay. See, please understand. How do you know so many Hindi words or whatever mother tongue you use? How? Because you use it on a daily basis. So whenever you come across these kind of words, you will have to use it on a daily basis. You will have to use it on a daily basis. Okay? How to use it or use it on a daily basis? You will have to write, you will have to talk, you will have to listen. You will have to have that environment, right? Mohit. And yes, obliterate, I will just come to it. Obliterate means to destroy, completely destroy, obliterate. When something is obliterated, it is completely destroyed. Okay? Okay. Now, 1 to 5. Again, I'm asking anybody has any question. Let's move to the next 5. Question number 6 to question number 10. We have taken a lot of time in the discussion for the first 5 questions, so we'll have to hurry. Okay. Question number 6 to question number 10. I will not give you more than 15 minutes. It is 4:20 right now, 4:35. Or if you are able to complete it earlier, let me know. Okay. Okay. Let's check. Number 6 to number 10. Number 6, he tells you impressions. What are impressions? Impressions are the direct and vivid, forceful products of immediate experience. So when you get an immediate experience, then you have something called impressions. What are ideas? Ideas are merely feeble copies of these original impressions. That means when you when you think about it for the second time, or when you come across it for the second time, third time, then it is idea. The first time, the immediate, when you have an immediate experience, then you have impressions. Afterwards, whatever happens, that is idea. Assuming that the above statement is true, which of these statements will logically follow from it? Number one, every impression leads to an idea. Is that so? Every impression will necessarily lead to an idea? No, that's not true. That is not true. It has to lead to an idea. That is, he never said that. He says that impressions are immediate experience and ideas are copies of original impressions. That does not mean that every single impression will automatically lead to an idea. No audio. No audio. Can you hear me? Am I audible? Yes. Okay. Varsha, I think there is something wrong at your end. Am I audible to you now? Can you hear me, Varsha? Yes? Okay. I think there was some issue at your end. Number one is wrong. But number two, ideas must follow an antecedent impression. That means before you have an idea, you have to have an impression. That is right. This is right. He tells you ideas are just feeble copies of the original impressions. So first you have to have an impression, only then you will have an idea. So number two is right. Number three, the color of the 2011 XAT test booklet right in front of a candidate is an impression to her. Whereas the memory of the color of a television set is an idea. Yes or no? Yes, this is also true. Yes, this is right. Because the that test booklet that is right in front, so there is an immediate experience. If there is an immediate experience, it is an impression. But you recollect, when you recollect, okay, when you recollect the color of the television set, so when you are memorizing it or recollecting it, that is an idea. So number three is right. Number four, if one was interested in origin of the idea of the color of a television set, then one needs to understand the impressions from which this idea was derived. Again, right? Again, right? Because ideas are just feeble copies of the original impressions. So if you want to understand idea, then you'll also have to understand the impressions. Number four is also right. What? Ananya, you're saying A is impression and B is idea. If B comes from A, then A should be causing B as a. If B comes from A, then A should be causing B as well. But over here he's using the word every, Ananya. Every B will come from A. ऐसा तो नहीं है. Yes, B can come from A. I get your point, Ananya. B can come from A, but that does not mean that every single B will come from A. I mean, sorry, every A will lead to B. Every impression will necessarily lead to an idea. That is not true. Okay. Had this word every not been there, impressions lead to an idea, then number one would be right. But the moment he says every impression leads to an idea, that is not true. But yes, we know for certain that every idea depends on an impression. That we can say for sure. Every single idea depends on an impression. Why? Because he's telling you ideas are merely feeble copies. So they are nothing else. That means ideas have to come from impressions. So other way around is all right. But when you say impressions will always lead to an idea, that is wrong. Okay. Now, Anshita, Priyanka, your question is, but sir, it is a television. Why does she need to have an idea about it? No, Priyanka, it's not matter you have not understood. You have not understood. What he's trying to say is when you see something for the first time, जो पहली बार जो immediate सामने आँख के सामने experience होता है, that is impression. Now, when you remember this experience, that is idea. So you must have seen your television set earlier. पहले देखा होगा ना फिर पे. अब next time when you are जब आप याद कर रहे हो when you are trying to remember what is the color of your television set. So impression तो already हो चुका है ना. Impression is already been there. Now you are just trying to recollect the original impression. So that is an idea. Okay. So 2, 3, and 4 are right, which means our answer is going to be number 4. Anshita, I think I answered your question. How is the idea coming from the impression? I think I answered this question. The impression was the first time you saw your television set. When you saw your television set, there was an immediate experience. That was impression. Now, every time you think about your television set, you want to remember what is the say, shape, size, color. That is idea. Okay. So, anybody has any doubt in 6? Please ask. Number 7. Question number 7. This is a discussion between two friends, paradox and heterodox. Now, what is paradox saying? Paradox is saying that when you look at when you look at reality, when you look at reality, reality जो होता है ना, reality, he says that being is something which can neither come into existence nor it can cease to exist, because being is something that has always been there. It is unmoved and it is undisturbed. So according to paradox, reality is something that does not change. It is not something which was born on a certain day and it is going to die on a certain day. No, reality is, it is something that is always there. It is unmoved, it is undisturbed. Things that things in which you see change, things that move, or things that get disturbed, they belong to the realm of becoming. They are not being, they are becoming. So when something moves, when there is disturbance, then it belongs to the world of unreality. It belongs to the world of becoming. Becoming means changing. Becoming an unreality. According to him, that is unreal world. Okay? Whereas, according to paradox, reality is being. Being means it is always there. It does not change. It is unmoved, undisturbed. If there is motion or disturbance in something, then it is part of unreality. It is part of the realm of becoming. Okay. Then he also tells you that because motion and change, because they belong to the realm of becoming, that is why they are logically inconsistent with reality and therefore they are unworthy of serious study. So according to paradox, anything that changes or moves, that is not the reality. That is not the reality, and that is why if they are unworthy of study of serious study. So what is the idea? What is the crux of what paradox is trying to say? Paradox is trying to say things that are real, they don't move, they don't change, they neither come into existence nor they die because they have always been there. It's always there. Okay, it has always been there, and they don't change. Things that change, things that move, according to paradox, those things are not real. Those things are not real. They belong to the realm of becoming, and becoming means, according to paradox, unreal. Did you understand this? First two lines: the human body is but the tomb of the soul. So the soul resides inside the human body, the soul resides inside the human body, and the visible world of matter is appearance that must be overcome if we are to know reality. So if you really want to know reality, then you will have to look beyond the facade. You will have to look beyond what is visible. जो visible नहीं है, जो अंदर है. So human body is visible, but soul तो अंदर है ना उसके. So if you want to know reality, then you will have to look inside the soul, because reality is soul, not the human body. Okay. Now, Herodox. What does Herodox say? What does Herodox say? According to Herodox, listen, all things. Now, Herodox has pretty contrary views. He says everything is in a state of perpetual flux. Everything changes. If you believe that something is permanent, then this is nothing but an illusion. Nothing is permanent. Okay? He tells you we see continuous change and transformation through a disorderly process of conflict and survival of the fittest. And this is the underlying principle at work in the universe. And it is from this principle that everything comes into existence. And this principle forms the basis for morals and governance patterns and blah 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 blah. So everything that we humans do, all the morals that we have, all the government systems that we have, all the behavior, all the culture that we have, everything comes from conflict and survival of the fittest. There's continuous change and transformation. That is why the study of human activity through the lens of an idealized state of being is inappropriate. So according to Herodotus, if you want to study human activity through a fixed state of being, fixed state, that means according to paradox. If you want to study humans from a fixed angle, as entities that don't move and change, then it is inappropriate. Okay, this is what he's trying to say. Is it clear? Based on this, there are two questions, 7 and 8. Number 7, which of the following statements could be considered as logically consistent with the views of paradox in the above paragraph? According to paradox, nothing changes. Reality does not change. Reality is unmoved and undisturbed. Reality was never born, reality will never die. Reality is always there. Okay? Remember these things about paradox. Based on that, check which statements are consistent. Number 1, a fly traveling on a flying arrow perceives it to be at rest. Therefore, the flying arrow belongs to the realm of being. Wrong. It is wrong. Whatever you perceive, whatever your perception, the fact of the matter is that the fly is traveling on a flying arrow. So there is motion. So there is motion. You may perceive it as you know having no motion or as being at rest. But the fact is that there is motion, and if there is motion, it cannot belong to the realm of being. It cannot belong to the realm of reality. So number 1 is not right. Number 2, the activities of the day-to-day life are concerned with the unreal part of human existence. यहाँ तक तो ठीक है. And hence should not be the subject to moral standards Now, this conclusion is not there. Whether it should be the subject to moral standards or should not be the subject to moral standards, we don't know. So, number two is not right. Number two also is not right. One part is all right, the second part is not all right. Number three, maintaining a balance among the various constituents of society is essential to the well being and continuing existence of the soul. When you maintain a balance, that means there is change. You know, if there is change, maintaining a balance means you will keep changing. And when there is change, it is not real. So number three immediately is gone. So one is not there, two is not there, three is not there. Okay, let's come to number four. Are you getting this? Did you understand why one, two, and three cannot be the answer? Yes, and hence made it wrong. Yes, Puneet, and hence made number two wrong. Number four, conflicts and the coming of spontaneous order do not have any underlying causes that are relevant for study, as the notion of perpetual flux itself is erroneous. So, the notion of perpetual flux is erroneous. This is what paradox is saying. Number four is right. Number four is right. According to him, movements change, they are not relevant for study. They do not have relevance as far as studies are concerned because the notion of perpetual flux is erroneous. Number four is right. Number five, the real is and cannot be non existent. Further, reality is one and unique. Number five is also right. So, four and five are right, which means our answer is number three. Please check. Anybody has any doubt in number seven? Now, let's move to question number eight. If this is clear, Puneet, number four, conflict and the coming of spontaneous order. Okay, you have no doubts. Okay, good. So I should move to eight then. Okay, number eight. Which of the following statements best represents an implication of Herodox's ideas? So, according to Herodox, everything changes. Everything changes. Okay. If everything changes, then what is the result? What is the implication? What is the implication? The question is, what is the implication? Immediately you jump to four. No, number four is not the answer. Answer for this question should be five. The implication is that there is no notion of time and space invariant reality. Time and space are invariant. Time and space are not variable. If this is the reality you believe is reality, then there is no such notion. That means, according to him, time and space can be variable. There can be numerous realities across times and across human cultures and civilizations because everything keeps changing. It should be number five. Did you understand? Okay. There is no notion of time space invariant reality. So if you say that time and space are invariant, then your notion is wrong. That is what Herodox is saying. Time and space, how can time and space be invariant? They are always variable. Yes, Puneet. Herodox was opposite to what paradox thinks. Yes. So number five is going to be the answer. Why is number four wrong? As the real world, relevant to the existence of human beings, is in a state of perpetual flux. Attempting to study the same in a systematic manner would be meaningful. Now, again, in number four, one part is right. The first part is right. But this the second part where you are saying attempting to study the same in a systematic manner would be meaningful despite reality itself having changed by then. Now, this is something which is not correct. And plus, if it has changed, how will you study it in a systematic manner? You make a system, reality will change. You make a system, reality will change. So, how will you have a systematic manner? So, number four is systematic would mean fixed. There is a system. Okay. So, if you are saying there's a fixed manner, then you are not reflecting Herodotus' views. That is why number four is wrong. That is why number four is wrong. And number one, religion and other approaches that stress on maintaining and developing the purity of the human soul are subjects that do not merit serious attention. You, if we maintain and we develop means we are changing. We change the purity of the human soul. So why they are not why do they not merit serious attention? According to Herodotus, you should change. Everything changes. So if something changes, why is he saying that they do not merit serious attention? Number one cannot be right. Okay, did you understand? Are these two questions perfectly clear for all of you? Seven and eight. If there is anything you did not understand, please ask. Even if there's a scintilla of doubt, please ask. Okay, let's come to number nine. Question number nine. Interesting question. Randomness has to be dealt with successfully to ensure a better control over one's life. Before one can deal effectively with randomness, one must acknowledge its existence. Okay? So, before you can deal with randomness, you must acknowledge the existence of randomness. And if you want a better control over your life, then you have to deal with successfully with randomness. So, above statement implies all of the following except what is not implied? Hmm. 4 mark, yeah. Everyone lives in a random world. I think that is implied when he is using an indefinite pronoun one. When he is using an indefinite pronoun one, he is talking about everyone. कोई भी हो सकता है. One must acknowledge. That means we must acknowledge the existence. So number four is implied. Number four cannot be the answer. Number four cannot be the answer. Number three, some people have marked number three. One can deal effectively with randomness if and only if one acknowledges its existence. Yes, that one must, you must, you must means if and only if. So number three also is implied. Number three also is implied. Number one to implied hai hi na. Randomness can be dealt with effectively. That is why he is saying randomness has to be dealt with successfully, and you must acknowledge it. So number one to already implied hai. Number one is implied. Okay. Number one is implied. So what is not implied? Now number five. If one does not acknowledge the existence of randomness, one cannot deal with it effectively. Okay. No. Wrong. Sorry. If one does not acknowledge the existence of randomness, one cannot deal with it effectively. So ये तो implied है. You must, you must acknowledge. That means this is the only way. So this also is implied. All of them are implied. It is number two that is not implied. Number two is not implied. He never said that if you acknowledge the existence of randomness, then you will automatically be able to deal with it effectively. It is number two. Nobody marked two. Only Mayank marked two. Please check. Answer is 2. Did you understand? Okay. If you want to win the race, you must practice. You must practice. But does that mean that if you practice, you will definitely win the race? Please think. Exactly वही हो रहा है. He's telling you if you want to win the race, that means if you want to deal with randomness, you must practice. You must acknowledge its existence. But that does not mean that if you acknowledge that you will necessarily win the race or you will necessarily be able to deal with randomness. That is why number 2 is the answer for question number 9. Is this clear? This is like magic. No, this is not like magic. See, when he says that A leads to B, when he says A leads to B, then we start thinking that A always leads to B, or B can come only from A. These are things that you need to work with, and this is something that will test you a lot. These kind of things. Okay, he will say that yes, there is a relation between A and B, but that does not mean that they necessarily have to follow each other, or one is necessarily the cause, the other one is necessarily the effect. So these are things that you need to be careful of. Is this in front of you? Okay. Number 10. In fact, number 10 and number 11, I don't know whether you did number 11 or not, but number 10 and 11. Now, this question, problem is that when you look at this passage, he has given you two questions. And for both the questions, you will have to assume different conclusions. Only then you will be able to answer the question. Okay? And this is a that question. So first one is media are not just passive channels of information. Not only do they supply the stuff of thought, but they also shape the process of thought. So media is not just passive. Media will also shape the process of thought. And what the internet seems to be doing is chipping away our capacity for concentration. The question is, what is the conclusion? Is it the first sentence or the second sentence? Okay? Is it the first sentence or the second sentence? ये बहुत problematic है. This becomes very problematic in this question. So if you assume, yes, both can be conclusion. Okay? If you assume that the second one, the second sentence, internet is chipping away our capacity for concentration. If you think that this is the conclusion, and then you look at the question, it says, which of the following will strengthen the argument presented above? So what will you do? You will look for an option which will prove that internet is reducing our capacity for concentration. You will look for an option which will tell you that internet is reducing your capacity for concentration. Do we have such an option? Nikita and Mayank, you quickly mark 4. Okay, but where is number 4 proving that it is because of internet that you are losing your capacity for concentration? It simply says a recent study has shown that number of people who fall asleep while reading a printed book has increased in the last 5 years. So is this happening because of internet? Probably it's happening because of television. How does number 4 strengthen it? It does not. It does not. Okay, you have to prove that internet is reducing your capacity for concentration. Number 3 also is not proving this. Number 3 is saying that a student of an average 15 to 12 year old, who spends a lot of time browsing the internet, that student's essay writing skill is comparable to a student whose average age is around 15 to 20 years old and who lived in the 1980s and 1990s when there was no internet. So if their essay writing skills are comparable, that means internet has not reduced your ability. Internet has not reduced your ability. So how are you spending it? Number three is not right. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? What I'm trying to say? You have to prove that internet. You have to prove that internet is reducing your capacity for concentration. Okay, Mayank, we are assuming the above passage to be true. Yes. So don't we have to assume? No, please don't assume anything. Don't assume. Don't assume in the options. Don't assume. Don't we have to assume that if concentration is reduced then it's only by internet? No. Why? A happens because of B. So do I assume that A will happen only and only because of B? यही तो mistake है ना, man. This is the mistake that we make. Our life is full of assumptions. We assume a lot. We assume a lot. So this should, but it can still strengthen. But to strengthen it, you are making an assumption. ऐसे ऐसे तो मैं कुछ भी assumption कर लूँ. ये जो number three, the comparison of essay writing skills, this comparison was not representative. It was not adequate. No, that is your assumption. No. So if you are assuming that internet is a subset, तो मैं कुछ भी assume कर लूँ for number three. If you assume, see, the moment you assume, then I can assume anything to make any of the answers correct. Okay, so please don't assume. So 3 and 4 not correct. Number two, where is number two saying? Where is number two proving that internet is reducing your capacity for concentration? How is number two proving to you that internet is reducing your capacity for concentration? No, it's not. It is simply saying that what we have done is that we have synchronized our daily activities based on the clock and not based on our senses. So the culprit is the clock and not the internet. Again, number two is not strengthening the argument. Number five, in fact, is not strengthening, it is weakening the argument. Number five will say that those younger judges who have ready access to internet, they are better. If they are better, then you are not strengthening the argument, you are weakening the argument. And number one has nothing to do with internet or internet reducing your capacity for concentration. Number one does not address it at all. So what does this mean? This means that when you see there can be no answer. If we assume number two to be the sentence number two to be the conclusion, then no answer is possible. So in this case, for this question, we will have to assume that it is the first statement that is the conclusion. And what is the first statement? That media is not just passive channel of information, it can also shape our thought process. So media is not a passive channel of information, it also shapes our thought process. How will you strengthen it? How will you strengthen it? That media shapes your thought process. Which option proves to you that media shapes your thought process? Read. Yes, it is number one. Answer is number one. Because in number one, see what he's saying. Nisha was forced to use a typewriter when he started to lose his vision. Okay? After he mastered the machine, he could type with his eyes closed. It was later found that under the effect of the machine matlab media hai, Nietzsche's prose changed from arguments to aphorisms, from thoughts to puns, from rhetoric to telegram style. So we see the changes in his thought process. Earlier, he used to write arguments. Now, but under the effect of the machine is typewriter, and it is the media. Media is not just social media and news media and uh, newspaper media, but the medium. So under the effect of the medium, Nisha's prose changed. Earlier he used to write arguments, now he was writing aphorisms. Earlier he used to write thoughts, now he's writing puns. Earlier he used to write rhetoric, now he's writing telegram style. So lot of changes happened. Lot of changes happened. So it was according to the media, because of the media, and that is why number one strengthens the arguments that media is not just passive channel of information. Did you understand? Did you understand this? Anybody has any doubt? Puns? What is a pun? What is a pun, by the way? Anybody can tell me what is a pun? We will have a class in which we will look at uh, you know we will I will discuss all these terms like pun uh, and metaphor and similes and oxymorons, all these kind of things I will discuss. But pun is a very humorous use. It is kind of a joke. Yes, it is kind of a joke. But what happens is that what kind of a joke is this? You are using a word. You are using a word which sounds very much like the word or sounds very much like another word, but meaning different निकल जाता है. Okay, but the meaning changes. That is pun. Is it clear? Priyanka, option number two, similar type of sentence as in the passage. Option number two is similar type of. One of the effects of timekeeping instruments has been that we have started deciding on our daily activities based on the clock and not based on our senses. Okay. So what you're trying to say is that it is shaping the process of thought. Is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to say that because we decide our daily activities based on the clock and not based on our senses, that is why it is shaping the process of thought? Is that what you want to say? Clock is chipping our thoughts, but clock to nahi na internet. Internet seems to be chipping our capacity for concentration and not thoughts, Priyanka. No, nothing is chipping your thoughts. It is chipping away your capacity for concentration. You are reading it wrong. Okay? Okay. Now, I don't know whether you have solved question number 11 or not, but question number 11 is from the same passage. See, that is why this question becomes difficult, because question number 11, the passage was same. Passage was same. But now he's asking you, the question is, which of the following will weaken the argument? Which of the following will weaken the argument? Now, if I take sentence number one as the conclusion, then again there is no answer. कोई आंसर ही नहीं है. There is no option which tells me that media does not shape the process of thought. There is no option. Okay. So what should be the answer? So what will we have to do? In this case, we will have to look at number two. We will have to look at number two, sentence number two, and sentence number two says that internet is chipping away our capacity for concentration, and we can weaken this argument by marking number five as the answer, because number five says that when you look at younger judges, they have ready access to internet, and they are in when they judge complex and intricate cases, they are better as compared to judges of comparable age during the 1920s. So number five will weaken the argument. Okay, is this clear? Please understand. Okay. Now, have you solved the remaining questions? No, you're not. We don't have much time. So what we'll do is one question at a time. Okay. I will solve this with you one question at a time, or you want to solve 12, 13, 14, 15. Let us do it one at a time. I will give you 2 minutes. Please solve question number 12, then we'll discuss. Okay. I think this is a very, very easy question. What is it telling you? When you look at the literacy rate in 2001, there has been a sharp fall in comparison to 1991. But when you compare literacy rate to 2006, then you see there is an increase in the literacy rate. So based on this, he is giving you 1991, then he is giving you 2001, and then he is giving you 2006. So he tells you that from 1991 to 2001, you see a fall, and from 2001 to 2006, you see a increase. Overall, when you look at the years from 1991 to 2006, then overall there has been an increase. Overall, the country has progressed in terms of literacy rate. How will you refute? So simple. How will you refute him? By saying that whatever decrease happened over here between 1991 and 2001, it was more than the increase that was experienced between 2001 and 2006. So yes, number four will refute his argument. Number four will say that the rate of fall in literacy between 1991 and 2001 was much, much more than the rate of rise in literacy between 2001 and 2006. Absolutely. Easy. This one is easy. Anybody has any doubt? Number 13. Question number 13. Alfredo, Diego, and Lionel are discussing Argentinian football. According to Alfredo, Argentina was a football powerhouse. According to Diego, Argentina is a football powerhouse. And according to Lionel, Argentina will be a football powerhouse. Which of the following cannot be inferred? It's important. What cannot be inferred from the above conversation? Number one, Lionel is optimistic about the future. So when he says Argentina will be a football powerhouse, that means he is optimistic. Number one can be inferred. So this cannot be the answer. Number two, Alfredo, Diego, and Lionel may disagree on certain things. This can be inferred because according to Alfredo, what happened? Argentina was a powerhouse in the past. According to Diego, in the present. According to Lionel, Argentina will be a powerhouse in the future. So they may disagree on certain things. Diego views the present positively. Yes, he does. It can be inferred. He's calling Argentina the football powerhouse. So he's positive. But can we say that Alfredo completely disagrees with Diego? No. It's possible. It's possible that Alfredo and Diego, okay? Diego is saying Argentina is a football powerhouse. It's possible that he also believes that in the past Argentina was a football powerhouse. So we can't say that Alfredo completely disagrees with Diego. This cannot be inferred. And that is why number four should be the answer. Number five, Alfredo has positive feelings about the past. This can be inferred. He believes that Argentina was a football powerhouse. So when he's using was, that means he has positive feelings about the past. Answer should be number four. Okay. Anybody has any doubt? Number 14. Most of the Asian countries they have trade deficit with China. Okay. Bangladesh's trade deficit with China has increased by 35%. Despite large increases in exports to China, Indonesia's trade deficit with China continues to increase. So does that of South Korea, which is home of Samsung Electronics, one of the world's largest manufacturers of electronic gadgets. So most of the ancient countries they have a trade deficit with China, and this trade deficit is increasing. That is what he's saying. Which of the following is true? Would be most inconsistent with the above passage. So what will be inconsistent? If there is any nation in Asia whose trade deficit with China is decreasing, if it is decreasing, it is going to be inconsistent with what he's saying. And when does the trade deficit decrease? When you export more and when you import more. Sorry, when you export more and you import less. So tell me, which one will tell you which one is the most inconsistent? It cannot be number one. It cannot be number one because China is the largest manufacturer of parts of electronic gadgets, and Samsung Electronics imports the parts from China. So if the import is increasing, trade deficit will increase. This is not inconsistent, it is consistent. Exports to Bangladesh are insignificant in proportion of China's total exports. Exports to Bangladesh are insignificant in proportion of China's total exports. So China exports lots of goods to Bangladesh in comparison to some other country. So it's but obvious that Bangladesh will have trade deficit with China. So number two also is not inconsistent, it is consistent. Varsha and Mohit, number two is consistent. Exports to Bangladesh are insignificant in proportion to China's total export. So China is exporting more to Bangladesh than some other country. That means the trade deficit that Bangladesh has with China will increase, isn't it? So number two is consistent. Number three, exports to Indonesia from China decreased. Now, if If the exports from China decreases, then the trade deficit decreases. Okay. Number three looks good. Number three looks good because the moment you say that the trade deficit has decreased, you are saying something inconsistent with the above passage. Number three looks good. Number four, China's chief exports are natural resources. Now you know just Indonesia's chief exports are natural resources. You know about Indonesia's exports, but in comparison to imports, are imports more than exports or are exports more than imports? You don't know, and that is why number four will have no impact. On the basis of number four, you cannot say whether trade deficit will increase or decrease with China. So number four cannot be right. Number five, China has trade deficits with Iran. So, so how is this inconsistent with the above passage? Please understand, he tells you most of the Asian countries, not all the Asian countries. So China can have trade deficit with Iran. There is nothing inconsistent. He has already mentioned it that most of the Asian nations, not all, have trade deficit with China. But the moment he says the when you look at when you look at Indonesia and Bangladesh, he specifically mentions Bangladesh. He mentions Indonesia. He mentions South Korea. And now he says Indonesia, the exports from China to Indonesia has decreased. If it has decreased, that means trade deficit must have decreased. Number three is the most inconsistent. What is trade deficit? Okay, let us say you have two countries, India and China. Iran is not in Asia. Iran is in Asia, I think. The Middle East is in Asia, Nikita. The entire Middle East is in Asia. Okay. Now, what is trade deficits? Let us say India, when it exports to China, okay, it exports to China goods worth 100 rupees. But from China, it imports. It imports goods worth 500 rupees. So what is happening? It is exporting 100 rupees but importing 500 rupees. So there is a 400 rupees trade deficit with China. That means 400 rupees trade deficit. It does not balance. There is a deficit. Import and export, they don't balance. Exports are deficit. This is trade deficit. Okay, Ananya, did you understand? This is trade deficit. Now, how will you reduce the trade deficit? Yes, India has a trade deficit with China. China does not have a trade deficit. India has a trade deficit. China has a trade surplus. The, the opposite term of trade deficit is trade surplus. How can you reduce the deficit? If India wants to reduce the deficit, either it either it increases the exports, either you increase the exports, that is one way. That trade deficit of no voice. Am I audible? Am I audible? Okay, what was the last thing that you heard? What was the last thing that you heard? I was telling you how can a country, okay, how can a country reduce the trade deficit? Either export more or you import less. That is how you can decrease the deficit, isn't it? So in the passage, if you look at the passage, in the passage he told you that Indonesia, when you look at it like this, he has specifically mentioned that Indonesia's trade deficit with China continues to increase. The moment I talk about a situation where the trade deficit is decreasing, I'm saying something inconsistent with the passage, and that is number three. That is number three. Okay, that is why answer for this question is number three. Anybody has any doubt? Okay. Now the last question for today. The last question for today. Again, this is a very complicated question, and in fact, this is a question for which there is no correct answer. Different people will mark different answers. So let me just tell you what this is saying. He says Hindi ought to be the official language of India. There is no reason for the government to spend money printing documents in different languages just to cater to people who cannot read or write Hindi. The government has better ways to spend taxpayers' money. People across India should read or write Hindi or learn it at the earliest. Which of the following is true? Will weaken the speaker's argument the most? Tell me, what do you think? How will you weaken the speaker's argument? His argument is that Hindi should be the official language and everybody in India should read or write Hindi or should learn it at the earliest. How will you weaken it? Number two से हो जाएगा. When you say you are saying that Hindi should be the official language and everybody should read, write Hindi or learn it. But if I say that it's not possible, Hindi is the most difficult language in the world to speak. Hindi is the most difficult language to speak. It is so. What I'm trying to say is Hindi is very difficult. It is not very easy to learn. But then some people say यहाँ पे तो speak लिखा हुआ है, and over here he's asking you to read or write. He's never asking you to speak. So it may be the most difficult language in the world to speak. But what about reading and writing? Probably Hindi reading and writing is very easy. So number two, in a sense, does not weaken the argument. Then some people say answer can be five, answer can be four, answer can be five. People say that those people who are multilingual, they pay maximum taxes. Why they say this? Because see, what you are doing is you want to save money. You want to better spend taxpayers' money. You don't want to waste money. Okay? He's, the reason you want Hindi to be the official language is there's no reason for the government to spend money printing documents in different languages. You can save money. But then if I say people who are multilingual, they pay maximum taxes. People who are multilingual, they usually pay maximum taxes. So why do you want to make why do you want to make Hindi the official language? Okay. Some people say number four, making Hindi the official language is a politically unpopular idea. So if it is politically unpopular, then even if you would like to make it, it will be very difficult for you to make it. So again, number four will also weaken. Number four can also weaken. So there are so many answers. There are so many answers. But you tell me what should we agree on? What do you think? What what do you think should be the answer? Number one, kaise? Number one, how will number one weaken the argument? Number one is strengthening the argument. The government translates official documents into more than 18 languages. यही तो बोल रहा है ना? That is what he's saying. Government is printing documents in different languages. Stop this. Why do you want to print? So Why do you want to print in so many languages? Save money. Make Hindi the official language. Everybody can learn Hindi. So number one is not weakening. Number one is strengthening the argument. Number one is strengthening the argument. Okay. And problem is that we will have to we will have to be subjective in this particular question, and that is why I have put this question here deliberately, because when you look at different answers, time will say answer is 5, career launcher will say answer is 4, and that guy, that book, Rakesh Sharma will say answer is 2. That does not give any official explanation. I mean, some years back, that did not provide official explanations. So I don't know. There can be so many answers. There can be so many answers. But I'll tell you, I if I had taken this paper, then I would have marked number two as the answer. I would also have marked number two as the answer. Okay, I would have marked number two as the answer, even though number four will also work, even though number five can also work. All these can work, but um, what he's saying is that make it the official language and people can learn it. But if I prove to it that okay, even if you make it the official language, but it is not going to be possible to learn it because it's very difficult. It's not going to be so easy. So in a sense, I will weaken his argument. So had I been there, had I been the test taker, I would also have marked number two. How can we conclude that Hindi is the most difficult one to learn? No, I'm not concluding. He's mentioning it. He's mentioning it. He's mentioning it that Hindi is the most difficult language. I am not assuming anything. I am not assuming anything. He's mentioning it. Yes, that is what I'm saying. Even though, please understand. Uh, when you talk about a language, how is it possible? How is it practically possible that you read and write but you cannot speak? Is that possible? Isn't it? Yes, मेरा भी argument यही है. My argument is also the same. My argument is also the same, that it's not possible. So that is why I feel that number two should be the answer. That is why I feel number two should be the answer. Okay. Now, Ananya, you are saying four sounds equally valid. Making Hindi the official language is a politically unpopular idea. Okay. Now, politically unpopular तो है. Okay. It can be a politically unpopular idea. Is that the reason why you should not take this step? Is that a very valid reason? Please understand. Two is weakening more than number four. There are so many things that we have to do that we don't like, but it is good for us. For example, many people have to go for surgery. Surgery is painful, but it's good. So it may be politically unpopular. It may be politically unpopular. Demonetization was politically unpopular, but it was good, isn't it? So I am not saying that number four is not weakening. I'm not saying that number four is not weakening. Okay, number four is weakening, but I think number four is a better reason to say that no, Hindi should not be the official language. Just because making Hindi the official language will be a politically unpopular idea does not mean that Hindi should not be made the official language. I mean, वैसे तो paying taxes is a unpopular idea. Nobody would like to pay taxes. Okay. What are you saying, Garima? Whereas we see at option number four, there are many other languages in India that should be given priority. In number four, making Hindi the official language is a politically unpopular idea. Okay. So does that mean yes? If it is difficult, if it is a difficult language, then whether it's popular or unpopular, that is immaterial. Yes, So I also believe that number two should be the answer. Okay. I also believe the answer for this question should be number two. Okay. Mayank, I am not making assumption. I am using common sense. Using common sense and making an assumption are two different things. Assumption का मतलब तो ये है कि it is not common sense. Just because you want to mark the answer तो फिर आपने assume कर लिया है. That is what you are not able to draw a line between what is an assumption and what is common sense. I can understand. I can understand. I can understand. And that is why we make so many mistakes. That is why we assume a lot. That is why we assume a lot because we think it is common sense. That is why we think it is common sense. Okay. See, I am not making an assumption. I am not making an assumption over here. आप खुद देखो ना. Am I assuming something to be true? I know that something is definitely true. I know that when you read or write a language, you also speak that language. Assumption का है? Assumption तो तब होगा when I'm saying that if you read and write, then automatically you can also fly in that language. That is assumption. Automatically you will become a savant in that language. If you can read, write, and speak English, then automatically you can become an English journalist. That is assumption. Okay. Okay. Please take a look. All questions from 1 to 15. Anybody has any doubt? Ask. Anybody? Okay. So that's it for today. We will have more practice. We will practice. Okay. We will have more workshops, but you need to practice on the material that is available online, and you need to get back if you face any problems. Tomorrow we'll meet from 10 to 12 for a session on paragraph summary. Okay. We will meet for a session workshop on paragraph summary tomorrow 10 to 12. Garima, what about workshop session 1, 2, 3? Videos are available. Videos are available, so you can go through the videos. Videos must have been uploaded. Please go through them. Okay. Now Nitin also asked me to ask you on Saturdays, are you comfortable with this time or do you want the classes in the night 9:30 to 11:30? Or you are comfortable with 3:30 to 5:30? See, because if you have a class 9:30 in the night 9:30 to 11:30, then immediately next morning again you will have a class. So I think most of you want the same time from 3:30 to 5:30. 3:30 is good. Okay. Probably we can keep it at 4. If 3:30 is not comfortable, 4 to 6, 4 to 6 रख सकते हैं. Is that okay? Okay. So next time I'll try to keep the class on Saturdays 4 to 6, and Sunday it'll be 10 o'clock, 10 to 12. 10 to 12 you're comfortable Sunday, or you want it early morning 9 to 12, 11, or 12 to 2? No, 12 to 2 is not good time. Okay. 10 to 12, 9 to 11, 10 works. Okay. So we want to take the class in the morning on Sunday so that you are free for the entire day. Okay, so you can at least enjoy life. So Sundays it is going to remain 10 to 12 as of now. On Saturdays, I think we'll probably change the time from 3:30 to 4 to 6. Okay. Okay. So that's it for today. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Yeah, somebody asked a question. Somebody was saying something about catcher in the rye. Wait, Mohit, you are saying I cannot understand. You cannot understand. Um, so wait, wait for that understanding to come. You could understand the normal things, the words that he was saying. What is the story behind the story? That is something you have not understood. Is that what you're trying to say? Huh. Wait, wait. There, there is no fun in me telling you the story. You will have to realize it yourself. Okay? Don't be impatient. Your time will come. Okay. And the day that time comes, then you have arrived. That day you would have made a remarkable progress in your understanding. Okay. So that's it for today. I'll see you. No, no, there is no need. After probably 2 3 months, you can read it again. As of now, there is no need for you to read it. Now try to read some philosophy. Try to read Sophie's World. These kind of books. Okay, Sophie's World. Yeah, start with Sophie's World. Okay, so I'll end the session now. Once more, take care.
Music